This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We know for at least the next couple of days he's the Prime Minister and perhaps beyond if the polls are to be believed. You haven't ordered the moving trucks?
Well, we'll wait and see what happens. But elections are tight in Australia. That's the thing.
Yes.
And if you get 52%, then that's
Yes.
big.
That's a big win. Yeah.
Win.
That's true. We are talking small margins, aren't we?
WA's been a bit different, of course, in the last couple of state elections.
It's certainly been strong in Labor's perspective. Ross was just asking you a question, Ross.
Yeah. Well, the sleep one or the Joe Exotic one? 'Cause they're two very different questions.
Either.
Okay. Well, you're saying you're not getting much sleep, but I just want to quickly touch on, Joe Exotic, the Netflix star Tiger King, who's endorsing you, and he's come out and said his motivation was because he wants you to call Trump to get him out of his 21-year jail sentence for multiple counts, including a murder-for-hire plot against rival Carol Baskin. Was that strange having him endorse you?
It was pretty strange when I got the question pretty cold.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Followed it up
So you
now.
had no idea.
So no context.
No. You address the National Press Club on a day that inflation is down to
Yes.
2.9. Basic inflation rate's 2.4 is held
Yes.
steady, so we're in the band, and you expect all these big economic questions.
Yep.
Did I get any?
No.
No.
About
Joe
the
Exotic.
Tiger
Did I get
King.
any questions about the United States? One might have thought it might have been about tariffs.
Yes.
No. Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
went
that
brief.
is random. Nobody had
is
that
so
on their
random.
bingo
National
card.
Press Club had the big focus on the big issues. But
Yeah. You won't be
Joe
making that-
Exotic, I did watch the show years ago.
Yeah.
It was on when we were all in lockdown mode.
Yes.
Of course, we got to see more Netflix. than
Yeah,
we
that's
did
true.
at
It
other
It
times.
captivated everybody, didn't it, that
It
show?
did.
So
It
that would have
did,
been
'cause-
such a weird moment for
I
you
know.
yesterday.
But I must admit, I haven't thought about Joe Exotic for a number of years.
nobody has.
And wasn't aware of what he was in jail for.
Yeah.
I knew there was
Murder plot.
something there.
There's a lot of charges.
Little
Murder,
Yeah.
murder plot was
plot.
one of them.
So will you be, if you are re-elected, will you be calling the American president to ask him to be pardoned?
I think what I'll be concentrating on with President
more about
Trump
tariffs?
will be more about tariffs and jobs and
less
the
Tiger
economy.
King, more tariff. Yeah. Got it.
Although, Tiger King. So
random.
I was wondering whether he thought, because we got Julian Assange
Yes.
Yes.
released, basically.
But he knows that he's Australian, right?
Which was a good thing. Well, maybe. I have no idea what Tiger King knows about Australia.
But he has got a mullet, so maybe he's
Yeah,
thinking
that's
that's
true.
the connection.
He might have seen the earlier photos of me with
That's true.
my mullet
Yeah.
and my earring and all that.
The Marrickville Mauler. Well, that's Jeff Fennick, but
yeah.
Jeff Fennick's voting Labor.
yeah.
He's a good
Jeff
man.
Fennick, great Australian, Jeff Fennick. When you come in, I guess we're all thinking, how tired are you? But there's only 2 days to go. This has been 6 weeks. And before then it starts because you want to be able to hit the ground
Yes,
running
on
all
the
the
front
time.
foot.
I hit the ground
How
on
are you?
January
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
And I've been
Yeah.
going full pelt ever since. I'm great. One of the things that I find enthuses me is just the contact with people. So yesterday afternoon in Midland, talking with people who are voting.
We survived.
Yeah, so Bullwinkle is an interesting electorate because it's new, so we don't actually
It is.
know.
So we're running Bullwinkle, of course, is named after a nurse.
Yeah,
we're
Vivian
running a
Bullwinkle.
nurse, Trish
Yes,
Cook.
yes, yeah.
Nothing says WA like a nurse who used to work in offshore oil and gas
Yeah, sure.
on a platform.
That's ticking all the boxes.
She's a cracker of a candidate.
I'm interested, with the pre-polling figures. I voted already. I voted last week, and they're talking in numbers like 4.5, 5 million
Are we
people.
still friends?
Don't worry. They're talking about 4.5 to 5 million people have already voted.
Yep.
Does that, and that's a new phenomenon, really. Does it change the way that you campaign?
Of course it does.
You strategize and structure your campaign.
That's one of the reasons why we got out so early.
Hmm.
Our commitments, like we said in Adelaide in November, beginning of November, we'd take 20% off student debt and
Yep.
free TAFE. In December, we did cheaper childcare, 3-day guarantee for childcare and etc. in Brisbane. I did $10,000 apprenticeship support in January, and then we did the big Medicare announcements we did in Launceston in early February. You got to have your announcements out early,
Yeah.
and then in the budget in March, of course, we did the tax cuts for every taxpayer, and so it's been rather strange that, I mean, the coalition still haven't released their costings.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And that's
Today.
2 days before the election when 5 million
Today.
people who've already voted.
I don't understand.
They've been a bit
Yeah.
slow. They've stayed in the sheds, mate.
Yeah.
Stay in the sheds.
We're in the fourth quarter.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Dr. Rachel Tolles, who joins us now from South Carolina. She is an expert in serial killers, and we're here for it.
Dr. Tolles, you'd be aware that Perth had a serial killer that's now in jail. And I'm interested, and this happens a lot with serial killers, in that when they've taken the lives of a lot of people, they don't necessarily admit to every crime. And if they're in jail, even if they're in jail and they're on death row or stuff, they seem to take information to their grave, and it doesn't help, the families that want to know what happened to their loved ones. Why is that?
That's right. It always depends on the killer. And so, for example, Jeffrey Dahmer, the minute that he was caught, was incredibly transparent about all of his kills. If it hadn't been for his transparency, and he was pretty much right off the bat, they didn't have to get it out of him. He's like, look, I did all these things, and had he not been so transparent, more than half of the 17 men that he killed no one would have ever known what happened to them. He was like, oh yeah, there's the one out in 1978. So that's a rarity, but some of them start to kind of, even you'll take the other extreme where they go overboard, but they start kind of like, it's like the Boston Strangler, for example, someone that right now they're trying to figure out, did he actually kill all 13 women that he said he killed, or is he taking credit? Because a lot of them, once they become a serial killer, they want the higher numbers. Then to your question, why is it that they withhold? Sometimes it's just for that last bit of, I have the power, and I'm not going to give it up because I'm, and some of it is, there might be some shame, believe it or not, to admitting these things. It just depends, because these people actually have feelings too. A lot of people think they've just got these dead shark eyes and they have no feelings. They absolutely have feelings. They just are better at compartmentalizing really severe things.
We were talking about this earlier, Rachel, about who out of us would be most likely to be a serial killer. And the thing about a good one, and Ted Bundy is probably a really good example of this, very charming. People that knew him well never suspected. And that they use their charm and their good looks to get by. So we think it's probably Ross, because he's a very nice person. Whereas Sean and I, we've got, we show our dark hearts. We're not hiding it. So is it the ones that aren't, you don't necessarily get a creepy vibe from a serial killer, do you?
The Rosses of the world.
Well, see, this is the other thing. So I think Hollywood has done a really good job of painting, the American psycho and even Hannibal Lecter, these evil geniuses. And most of them, I think their IQs, the average IQ of a serial killer is about 90, 91. Like, it's not super high, but you've got the odd ones that are really smart. I mean, Ted Bundy, great example. I think his IQ was like 130 something, so he was pretty high up there. Jeffrey Dahmer was 145. So you have some that are higher up there, but for the most part, I think what's interesting about what happened with Ted Bundy, and I think this is what freaked everybody out, is that before Ted Bundy happened, serial killers were really viewed more like Ed Gein, who is the butcher of Plainfield, who Norman Bates from Psycho was based on him, along with Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of course Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. They're all based on this one man named Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield. And these are guys who, before Ted Bundy came along, people just assumed they're kind of ghoulish,
monsters.
They're kind of creepy, and all that kind of stuff. But then Ted Bundy came along, and he changed the whole world of serial killing. And then, of course, John Gacy, while he's known as the killer clown, he was this pillar of his community. Everybody thought he was the nicest guy. And Ted Bundy was, he was having plenty of sex with women, and he was able to, it's not like he was upset that he couldn't get it. He was able, women were kind of throwing themselves at him, but he still had the urge to kill. And yet he had this other side of him that was perfectly reasonable, able to become a lawyer, just all the things. They were able to blend. And I think that's what really freaks people out the most, is that it's the ones that are able to blend. But again, if you listen to your body, because I know somebody whose mother went on a date with Ted Bundy, and she just talked about like the fact that she knew something was off.
Wow.
And she listened to her body, and she got the heck out of there. And had she not, so I always tell, I go on about this in the show, but just like what you can do if you think you might be on a date with a serial killer, how to keep yourself safe. I kind of give those tips as well.
This is good to know,
Yeah.
good stuff to know.
Yeah,
It's worth coming to your show for that alone.
Yes, well, I hope you guys, when you come, please introduce yourselves. I can't wait to meet you in person. And I think you will find that you're going to learn a lot. I promise you. You're going to leave there seeing serial killers through a whole other lens.
Oh, extraordinary. Okay, The Psychology of Serial Killers and Why They Captivate Us, hosted by Dr. Rachel Tolles, comes to the Astor Theatre Thursday, May 29. Tickets at tugdainty.com. Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you in Australia.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
2/3 of the inspired unemployed. Someone's not carrying their weight, you know what I mean? Well, Jack and Falcon join us now. Good morning, fellas.
How are we?
Hello.
Good, thanks. So can I just quickly say, is the reason you're slightly delayed in coming to talk to us is because you're getting a photo with Maggie Dent, the child expert?
Oh, yeah, she gave us some tips then. And as we just found out, we're like, oh, where do you live? She's like, oh, yeah, I grew up in I'm from Gerringong. And we're like, we live in Gerringong. Yeah.
Like, it's a small town, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. I grew up in Gerringong my whole life, but we live in Kiama, but it's like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Small world.
How big is that? And then tell me how big Kiama High School is when you first caught up with each other.
Well, I think Kiama's 20,000, I'm saying. I don't even know. That's right.
And I think Gerringong's like maybe 5,000.
5 or 10 now. Be getting bigger. But then, so you have like Kiama High would be Gerringong, Kiama, Minamara, where I was from, and Jamberoo. So the 5 closest towns, which are not far and they're not that big, they all go to Kiama High. So, and Falcon was pretty much inbred, if I say.
Admit it. No.
So it's not, you're not inbred, but you're related to every person at school, pretty much.
So my dad is one of 9, and he lives in Gerringong.
Right.
My mum is one of 12, and she lived in Berry, which is like 10 minutes away. So I got a big family.
So he couldn't pervert anyone because they might be his cousin.
They were all cousins. All cousins.
Falcon, I'm from a big family as well, and constantly I get asked, people say, oh, I met your cousin, and I don't know who that is, because that could be one of just a list of thousands, to be honest, and you just kind of nod your head, and people come up to you and say, oh, yeah, we're cousins, and I just go, oh, yeah, great. I don't even know if that's true or not, but I just go with it.
Honestly, and then even at like Christmas, like on my mum's side, we have to do Christmas like 2 weeks in advance because there's just too many of us. And I'm literally, it's like a festival. I'm walking around like.
Yeah, I got quite a big family too. My nan's one of 13, and so I got and my same on the other side. So I got cousins everywhere.
This is how we have such like a big following. It's just literally our cousins, aunties, and uncles. Yeah,
obligation.
So, guys, let's talk about the list, because this is you guys going around the world doing a lot of things that seem painful. Is
Set
that the
fire
premise?
to yourself. You've a lot of fighting, nudity. Did you have a favourite memorable?
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a bit of pain involved. Favourite moment from the trip? Jack got bashed pretty bad in Malaysia.
That was your favourite bit.
But you chose to, right?
Was that with a big group? Was that like a big mosh pit of just
shirtless people?
Yeah.
So it's called Silat Martial Arts. So it's in Malaysia. And we went there to get, initiated into their fighting group. And, every year they initiate like 4 or 5 people, and they have this thing called the Royal Rumble. So you do all these like
we got one of them
practice
here.
how to fight, and then the top 5 people that get initiated go into the middle of like a group of like 30 to 50 people, and they got to protect each other, the 5, and the rest just come in and just try and kill you pretty much.
So this is Malaysian
really
Fight Club is what it is.
Yeah. So our producers were trying to explain to this group of 40 excited, kind of anyway. How old were they? Like 13 to up to like 30. Yeah. And they had no idea what was going on. They didn't really speak English, so they were just like, I can't wait to go to school tomorrow and brag that I just bashed someone.
Yeah.
And we could see that in their faces, but we all kind of we're like, oh, I think we're in for a bit more than we're bitten off. We've we can chew here, and we're gonna post a photo tonight on our Instagram. But I had I was cut open from the top of my head to the bottom of my chin, pretty much, like fully bleeding.
That's
like,
them not hitting your face. Imagine.
Yeah. It was a flying knee to the head.
No, it's flying kick.
Flying kick.
The guy just ran. The flying dragon.
Yeah.
He just come in and just cracked me. And but you just should have seen him.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was absolutely fine.
Yeah, stole his lunch.
I got him in the car park later on after the cameras.
Hey, there's one, and I don't know if this happened in Japan. Is Japan when you went under the water? Where was that exactly? Because I've seen that before, and can you give me the understanding of, is it monks that stand under that unbelievably freezing cold water?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
you're well travelled.
It's a cleansing thing.
Yeah. So we trained with these the Yamabushi mountain monks. So you do like this ritual and stuff, and then they stand under this waterfall. It's freezing cold, and it's to like cleanse yourself and get out of your head. And
I don't think people know how hard that thing was falling.
So the water, it doesn't look that bad, but when you're under there, it was
and
pretty
cold.
funny.
How cold?
Yeah, it just felt like bullets, but it was that heavy, and you can't really tell. I mean, we're trying to justify it, but it was it was hitting that hard. It was hard to even stand under. Yeah. So that was.
Did you reach a Zen state?
We did. No, I got told I was going bald from the monk.
Well, this sounds like the worst Kentucky trip of all time. It's going to be fun for the rest of us to watch. It is called The List. Jack Falcon, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Stay safe. Can't wait for season 2. Geez, what are they going to do to you there?
I don't know. If you need security, let us know. We're here.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
We have special guest Charlie Albone in the house. We know him from Better Homes and Gardens, and before that, Selling Houses Australia.
Yeah.
But he's here for the Perth Garden Show, presented by the Water Corporation. It's this weekend at McCallum Park. Tickets from perthgardenshow.com.au. Charlie, it's not going to be great weather all weekend, unfortunately, but it's showers, not pouring with rain. It's going to be fine.
Look, the gardens love it.
Yes, it's good for the garden.
Good for the garden.
Yeah. It's good for the garden.
Yeah.
You might grow an inch or two if you get out in the rain as well, like a plant. It's fine.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Charlie, before we do some deep diving, I got to get this out of the way.
Get out there, Ross.
I'll give you the context afterwards, but the question itself is, what's it called? Baby sunrose. It's a succulent. It's a plant.
Yeah.
It's a plant.
Can you tell I'm not a gardener?
Correct.
What would happen if you were to vomit on this plant? And more details behind it before we get to the situation is maybe an up and go is in the system.
Yep.
Milk. That's about it.
And doesn't agree with you, so it comes out onto the plant.
Maybe a hydrolyte.
Specific gardening question.
Yeah, what would happen if you vomit?
I think it's going to be okay.
Succulents.
I told her!
Succulents are pretty hardy, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you add water and milk and spray it onto things like zucchinis, it actually helps deter mold.
So when I had a wave of sickness and I ran outside and the wife said to me, don't you dare vomit on our
baby sunrose
because I just planted them, I could have been like, well, Charlie said it's going to help.
It's good to go.
She did want me to mention, though, she goes, you got to say this if you do this. It's freshly propagated, and she said I have to explain my vomit style, which is explosive.
My vomit style is very much the same. It comes from very deep within me, and it's very loud. The whole neighbourhood can hear. Yeah.
It's obvious because you've got a strong core. That's from all the digging, right?
Thank you for proving me right, and it's good to know for the future.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, use that, Ross.
All right, and that's a relatable question for everybody at home as well.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Charlie, I want to know how when you went from doing your horticulture apprenticeship into being on TV, how did that all take place?
That was a moment of spite from my ex-girlfriend. So, like, I had my own business. I was working as a landscaper, and I just got sent this email from my design association saying, try out for this show. And we'd just broken up, and I called her and I was like, look, I've got this email. Do you reckon I should do it? She goes, look, you'll never do it. You'll never put the video in, and if you do, you'll be rubbish at it. Oh. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't have done it unless she said that to me.
Well done.
That's a great story.
Yeah. I had a friend who I was living with who wanted to be an actor. I'm like, you're the only one of my friends who's not going to take the piss out of me.
Yes.
Come to one of my gardens and film me and put a video in, and next thing you know, I was on Selling Houses.
And so in that video, what did you do? What did you talk about?
I walked around a garden going, and here we have the steppers running from the front to the back, and all the other things I'd seen on TV. I was just trying to repeat. And,
At that stage, were you a black belt in all things gardens?
No. I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still learning gardening now. I don't know it all. So I was a novice. I just managed to shit my way through.
That's so good. And then, you were on that show for
13 years.
13 years of arguing with Shayna about budgets.
Yep. Pretty much.
Well, I mean, that seemed to be the gist of it was that, because there was always an argument about how much money would be spent outside versus inside.
Yes.
And half the time looked like you were just left with 3 bags of potting mix and one paver.
Pretty much how it was, yeah.
But you created a bit of magic. You guys did great stuff.
Oh, we had great fun doing the show, and I love ribbing Winty as well. I still do it now. I troll him on social media. Anytime he puts a turtleneck on, I'm the first one to comment,
Yeah, doesn't he live in Queensland?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you made the big switch, which was to go to Better Homes and Gardens. What prompted you to do that?
Well, I was offered the job. It's like the Rolls Royce of jobs in TV gardening. So I thought, why not? And a lot of it was at home. My kids were growing up, and a lot of it's filmed in Sydney. So it just
rather than having to travel around the country doing up other people's houses.
So it just made perfect sense. And I love the show. I mean, tonight I'm going to Uluru. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then back for the gardening show.
And then back for the gardening show.
I actually was watching a rerun yesterday. It was on in the afternoon on 7. And the thing that gets me about people in your industry is that knowing the names of the plants who have a name and a
botanical
subsection,
name.
possibly, mate. They're not small names.
Well, the thing is, when I was at school, I learnt Latin, and I was like, I'm never going to use this ever. And I can only say a few rude things in Latin, but it really helps with learning botanical names because they're all Latin, right? So I know if something says horizontalis in it, it's probably going to be growing flat and all those sorts of things. So.
Yes, and and things that allude to it having split leaves and all that kind of stuff. That's all. You can get that from the Latin.
Yeah,
that's wicked.
Fancy English education where you learnt Latin. Is that what's going on there?
Well, no, I don't. I learnt Latin and French. But then, my kids were offered Latin and French in school at the moment. So, yeah.
Latin?
I thought that all moved on. Serious?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Haven't you?
Are they going to school at the Vatican?
Yes.
What's happening?
Yeah, they are. One's going to be the Pope.
So the show tonight, you're at Uluru.
Yes.
And I think I saw some of your socials, 43 degrees when you're there. What's it like doing TV and working in 43 degrees?
So much fun.
Sweat.
And you have to wear a hat and you have to wear long sleeves and you have to wear long pants because you've got to be seen as being sun safe. I'm like, you're aware I'm English, right?
Yes.
I will melt.
How'd you go?
I had a pretty red face for most of it.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience. The sunrise in Uluru is like nothing else.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Have you been there now?
Yeah, I have. I went there. I took some friends were visiting from Ireland and they had been on the East Coast and we met in the middle and went to Ayers Rock and then up to Darwin. But the sunrise because the rock changes colour. It's right in front of your eyes. It's actually extraordinary. And it is a deeply... You feel like it's a spiritual place. It is incredible, isn't it, Charlie?
I found... So we were doing the sunrise experience and you look up at the sky and you can literally see the band of daylight arriving and you can see the stars disappearing and there's like a black line across the sky as it's happening. It's just wild.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Charlie, we talked about your English background a bit, but you grew up in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. Ever been back for the Sevens?
I have been back to Hong Kong. My sister, she still lives there. Well, she's just left there, but she's been living there up until now. So
right.
I go back all the time.
God, I've never been, but everybody goes for the rugby set. People I know have been over there. They say it's the wildest party ever.
It is, yeah. Because in Hong Kong and a lot of Asian countries, you can drink in the street, and a lot of people do that. And it gets wild.
The main attraction.
Yeah.
And so what are you going to be doing at the garden show this weekend?
So I'm going to be at the Richgrove Knowledge Centre giving talks at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So come say hello.
Just lots of Latin terms and
just saying stuff that sounds interesting.
So what do you know about garden? Because we've got very sandy soil here. It's
awful
very
soil.
dry. Yep. So what's the secret to having a lovely lush garden in Perth?
Perth has some of the worst soil in the world.
It's so dry and it doesn't absorb water for starters, and it's so sandy.
So you need to add a lot of organic matter to it, but the problem with adding organic matter to an already dry soil is it becomes hydrophobic, which means you can't get water into it. So you need to apply a soil wetter.
Right.
So a wetting agent at the same time, and then you need to build your soil up. Soil is the key to a successful garden.
Okay, and I have a very specific question now, not as specific as Ross's, but at my house, I have a limestone fence.
Yep.
It's a wall, essentially, that it faces north, and I need to put something along it. What is it, like a shrub or something that's going to be easy to grow? It's got retic, so it will get water, but it's going to get a lot of bright sunlight.
Yes. Do you want natives or do you want...
I want something that's going to look good.
Do you want something fast growing?
Sure.
Iliagnis.
Iliagnis.
Iliagnis ebingii.
Oh, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it down. Does that start with an I or an E?
An E.
All right, Iliagnis. Iliagnis.
Ebingii. Ebingii.
What does the Iliagnis part mean?
Don't know.
That was his mum's name.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
We actually have 5 doubles to the Perth Garden Show. Tickets from perthgardenshow.com.au, but 13-24-10 if you want some doubles to go see Charlie.
Awesome.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much for
thanks,
coming.
Charlie.
For showing us your gardening knowledge, but also your in-depth knowledge of the NBA. Which was
I'll be back for sport in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, cool.
great work.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
Sunday Ariang in the house at the moment.
Sunday morning, I love that.
That's a great one. Sunday, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Oh.
Hey, I know.
You're coming back from injury?
I am, but it's actually such a good process, like, coming back from it. Like, I've been running, been doing some stuff with the physio. Like, I'm feeling good leading into...
So this is an ankle injury?
It is an ankle injury, yeah.
So what happened in the Ariang family that everybody's feet just fell apart? Because Ruth snapped her Achilles tendon, your sister, which is devastating. So that's season ending.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh my God, what are the chances that we're both going to hurt?
I know.
But, like, I feel terrible for her because, like, obviously with mine, it's nothing too serious and major. And then there's hers where she's out for the rest of the season.
And this was her first season being elevated into the main team as well. It's like, and that, also Achilles, that's an old person's injury. What's she doing?
That's what I've been hearing a lot. Everyone's been telling me only old people do that. So.
It's pretty much people Sean's age who then go and play soccer in the park. They're the people snapping their Achilles tendon.
Yeah, Sam Draper from Essendon a couple of weeks ago against the Eagles, he just went down, and I was commentating the game, and I was like, oh, he's done an Achilles here because you can just tell. Like, hey, what the hell happened?
Ruth literally did the same thing when it happened to her. She looked behind to see if there was a player behind her that pushed her or something. But no, I know it's terrible. But I reckon she's in good hands with the club. I think they'll do whatever they can to make her as comfortable and just help her through this process. And I think everyone else around her is just going to be there to help wherever she needs. So yeah, I think she's in a good spot.
We were just talking about off air about strapping your own ankles. So you do that on game days because I asked if you strap your ankles every match, and you do it yourself, right?
Yeah, I do it myself. Everyone usually does it themselves, but I think from now on, after rolling my ankle, I'll have to get the physio to do it.
So you were doing just preventatively before. Yeah, that's right. And clearly you didn't do a good job.
So Nat was saying, which I want to see at some stage, and maybe next time we come
bring a roll of tape, I'll sort it out.
I'll bring some roll of tape. We'll see how Nat does.
Because I worked as a sports trainer at a local footy club all through uni. That was my uni job. And so I reckon I could still do it.
Sean YouTubed it, though, to do it to his kids. So he's got YouTube training.
Yeah, you're right.
You can both have a go. One ankle
each. One ankle each. We'll see what happens. He'll count it. Yeah.
Janelle was back in the team on the weekend and paid dividends because she shot the lights out yet again.
It was like the fever of old.
Honestly.
It was like you don't realise how much you miss her until she comes back, and it's like she dominated.
She did dominate, and especially her first game after not playing netball for a while. I don't know, something about Jay, the energy that she just brings to the team. Sometimes it's just such a comfort for all of us. So it was just great to see her out there. She was shining, doing her usual
and you're right, because I think Shanice lifted as well.
Yeah.
I thought she had a ripper game.
Yeah, honestly, everyone had an amazing game. Yeah. It was just great to watch. I was at home cheering, screaming, just excited to watch everyone do so well.
All pre-season and the start of the season, you were going about it in a different manner.
Yeah.
Is it easy to change back for the girls?
Like style of play?
Yeah, I think it was easy to change back. I think it's been so many years of the same style of play, so it's nothing different. It was probably a lot harder to change into the new style that we were trying to build than having to go back to Janelle. But everyone kind of just found their feet again, knew exactly what they're doing. It was just easy for them to switch back to playing with Janelle, so it was good to see.
And I did notice something that we hadn't seen much of this year, which was Coach Dan Ryan smiling.
I love when I see you smile on Dan.
I know. He'd been under the pump, and so you could tell there was a bit of weight lifted off his shoulders after last weekend. And this weekend against Sunshine Coast will be a good test again.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for the Sunshine Coast game. I think it's always good to get back home, and it feels like we haven't been here for a while. But yeah, I think we're all ready. We're prepared. We know what we need to do, so it's time to just go out there and do it.
When are we expecting you back in the lineup?
Hopefully soon.
How soon? Do you have a fitness test?
That's all I can give you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have to, whether you play or not this week, will you have to go through some kind of fitness test this week?
Yeah.
You may play next week, or you may play this week, but
I will do
What
like
day?
a fitness test. I think they'll just make sure that like I'm capable and okay to go out there and play netball game.
They're
But
not going to take your word for it.
no, the numbers will show.
So in footy terms, when you watch the news, they go they have to get through training, and after that, we'll see how they pulled up. Have you had main training?
I can't disclose that stuff.
Oh, secret squirrel.
No, I have trained. So I have.
Have you had main training?
What about in
for the
netball?
week?
I've trained in the week.
Have you had main training?
Go on.
You too.
Leave her alone.
Just trying to dig it out of me.
Just wait and see.
We wish you well for this weekend, whether you're playing or not. But we know that you'll be out there shortly.
I'll
She
see
might
you
be playing.
there
She might be
Sunday,
playing.
one way or the
I don't
other.
know.
We'll see each other there.
I'll be there, yeah.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
Welcome to the studio. Our boss, David McClung.
Hi, David.
Hey, Shawnee.
So Dave and I were at a birthday party on Saturday night, and Dave told me a story, and I said, you need to tell the rest of the gang this story on air. Take it away.
I've been trying to think how
David.
to do it without getting fired.
That is a great start.
You're the boss. Last week, I was messaging a friend. I don't know how to describe. It's I guess a special friend who we sometimes send.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Send messages
I think it's safe to say a potential paramour,
What does that mean?
I don't know.
lover,
yeah.
shall we say?
No. No, but okay, I get where you're going.
Temporary one.
Yeah. Anyway, so
A short-term lover.
Short-term labour, can we put it that way? Okay.
Yeah. So I sent this person a Snapchat, which was of my
Body.
Sexy bit.
consensual, by the way. We've done
That's
this
right.
before, right?
Okay.
So anyway, and it was weird because I didn't get a response.
Well, I was taking some time, Dave, but I swear I sent one back to you.
Right. But anyway, then I looked and I'd sent it to the wrong person. And worse than that, I'd sent it to someone that we work with, in a straight married man.
We have him on the phone here. Leno, who used to work with us, he used to press the buttons back in the day, and now he's a big wig.
Oh, he's a champion.
Leno, hello.
Morning.
Good morning, Nat. Good morning, Sean. Morning, David.
Good morning.
And Ross is here
Ross
too,
is here
by
too,
the way.
yeah.
Leno.
Can I talk it through first? So I did look, and I was trying to figure out how to unsend a Snapchat because I could tell Leno hadn't looked at it yet because Leno lives in Sydney, so he'd already gone to bed.
Yes.
And
It's quite late at night, was it, Dave?
Weird time.
Booty call.
You have no idea how much Googling I did. I couldn't on for the life.
Can I undo this?
I couldn't figure out how to do it. It did say that if you block them on Snapchat, some people said that helped. So I blocked Leno on Snapchat.
Yes.
But I still wasn't sure it had worked. So I had to send Leno a message saying, hey, just to let you know, I've accidentally sent you a Snapchat of my, please don't open it. And
Leno,
What happened?
did you open it?
Okay, so I thought this is going to be very handy to have in your back pocket for a while.
Definitely.
I did torment Dave with sending him videos of people looking at their phone shops that he knew as well, other colleagues. And then I just left it sitting there. And then for the next 2 weeks, anytime I wanted to do there was work I didn't want to do, I just said, remember that I have an unopened Snapchat on my phone, Dave.
I mean, it's a great bargaining chip, isn't it? That's just amazing.
So, Leno, it probably would have been weighing on you at some stage. Should I just have a sneak peek?
Well, this is the thing. Dave then told me so often that, no, if you block them, they can't see it. Like, it doesn't happen. But for all Snapchat users out there, if you are blocked, that picture will still come up.
So, did you screenshot it?
You can't do that because you get notified. So I took a photo of it from another phone.
No, he didn't. He's joking. Leno was very good about it. Leno and I get along very well. Leno's been great about it.
Dave doesn't want to get in more trouble. Leno,
He's on the other side of the country. He can do whatever he likes.
Leno, our HR department is listening.
did you have to explain this to the wife? What was the story there? Because it sounds like I accidentally sent me.
Yeah.
I mean, that certainly would raise some question marks. But the unfortunate thing for Dave is his reputation precedes him.
Yes.
And She was like, "Oh, how am I not surprised?" Of all of your friends.
Classic Dave.
Great job, Leno. Anyway,
magic.
Leno will be running this company by the end of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got dirt on everyone
That's
now.
right. You're right. You're what we call our new boss, Leno. Look forward to working with you. So our boss, David, he accidentally sent a consensual, sexy Snapchat to a work colleague instead of its intended recipient. And that's just an awkward conversation.
Pretty
and
funny. You've got dirt on them for life.
I know, right?
That's fantastic. I love when people have sent wrong maybe pictures and or text messages. And this happened to a friend of mine, Matthew. I'm going to go with his first name. I won't say the nicknames. But he was down at the raffles and he was having a meeting with somebody and it was going really poorly.
Like a business meeting.
It was going really poorly.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting along with the guy at all. So the guy got up to go to the toilet and left his phone on the table. Matthew rings another friend, Brad. I'll go with his first name as well.
Rings him or texts him?
Texts him. And he says, this is going terribly. A lot of swear words about the guy he's dealing with.
Like a quick character assessment.
Yep. And give me a call in like 5 minutes so that I can use that as a way of getting out of this meeting.
Yep.
And he pressed send.
So girls get out of dates, but keep going.
He pressed sends, the phone is on the table and just beeps.
Oh,
and
no.
he realised he's sent it directly to this guy who's just gone to the toilet. So he reckons the first thing that went through his mind is he stood up, he grabbed this guy's phone and he's thinking, I'm pegging
Because he'd be looking at it like, can I delete it? Can I delete it?
Yeah.
But you can't.
He can't. So he's got it in his phone and he's thinking, I'm going to just peg this into the river because you're right. You know, you're out in that outdoor section at the raffles.
He comes back and it's like, where's my phone? I don't know, you took it with you to the toilet.
So what did you do?
In the end, he decided to come. The best thing was he came clean to the guy face to face and then just left.
Yeah.
That is super
That's
awkward.
mortifying. Roxy's in Belden. Morning, Roxy.
Morning.
What happened?
Yeah, so it wasn't actually me. It was my brother-in-law, and it was about 10 years ago. And Instagram had just started, and he had just started dating a girl who he's actually now engaged to. And he went onto Instagram because they had this filter thing where you could, filter your pictures. And he thought, he took a obviously shot of his bits and put the filter on, but didn't realise that he actually posted it to Instagram.
But at least there was a filter on it, so it looked good,
Yeah. Until he got a message from one of his mates saying, hey, mate, I don't know if you realise, but your bits are all over the internet.
How long would have it lasted up before you...
Don't say how long.
That's really good.
Lasted up.
Lasted up. Yeah. I mean,
We'll just move on.
Was it on Instagram for long?
I don't think so. It was probably like a few hours. And Instagram was quite new, so there weren't too many people on it. But the story does get circulated still to this day.
The fact that he filtered that.
Yeah, I know.
It's a different shade.
Look, it's best.
Yeah.
Valencia, black
Like
and
the
white.
Paris filter on that. It comes up a treat. Through that, the wrinkles. Thanks, Roxy. Ashley's in Girraween. Hello.
So I worked for this guy probably like a year ago now, and he was just horrible. He would make me do his personal things, pick up, shoes for him, and I was his bookkeeper at the time. So he was just horrible. And one day he was just being an absolute arse, and I was messaging my partner, and I was just going in about my boss.
Yes.
Coming clean.
And I've accidentally sent it to my boss.
Ash. What do you
happened?
do then? I mean, obviously, you feel in the pit of your stomach, you feel so bad.
I was just like beside myself. I was crying. I rang my partner and I was just like, oh my God, I've just sent him this message and I've called him all these names.
Yes.
I've gone in and my boss ended up calling me and just blasting me, and then I lost my job on the spot. So,
but also, was that secretly really just a good thing?
It was. Looking back, it was.
And you told him.
Yeah.
And you told him. You said your bit. You didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You said your bit about it.
Yeah.
To him.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Got it off my
Ash.
chest.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right. What got sent to the wrong person, Sarah?
That was actually my dad a few years ago. So I was at work and I got a text message from him. It's not like Snapchat, so you kind of have access to it straight away.
Yeah.
And he had sent me a photo of his bit. I put him immediately, and he at the time had a girlfriend named Sarah as well. So I assumed to the wrong Sarah.
That is...
He tried to cover it up.
How? What did he say?
With a sock.
He said it was an accident, and the camera was just on accidentally.
Oh,
whatever,
and he had no pants on.
Well,
yeah.
It was not an accident. It was very well prepared. That's all I would say.
It was well prepared. Sarah.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
So we've got Jeremy McGovern in here, which is fantastic. We'll be talking footy about to him just in a second, but we've also got a special guest, Natalie, that's going to join our sports talk.
Well, he's wandered in early, and so we thought, why not get him involved? Gardner. Charlie Albone from Better Homes Gardens is in the house.
Charlie, good to see you.
Nice to see you guys. You well?
Yeah, you want to talk? You ready to talk sport?
Yeah.
Charlie, get involved in the questions here. I'm going hard at Gov straight off the bat here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Save me.
The West Coast Eagles over here have had a torrid run for a number of years, but this year hasn't got off to the best start. The Gov is the champion of their team. They had a crisis meeting. Some say crisis. I'll take that word away. I'll take that word away, Gov, because I don't like it. You had a meeting and you wanted to make sure that the boys are up and about to change things going forward. Tell us about it.
It wasn't a crisis meeting.
Okay, good. I'll take that off the table.
Let's just put that on record.
Charlie, did you think it was a crisis meeting and the information you're across?
I mean, what I've heard it was major crisis.
Charlie, you meant to be helping me here.
I'm a Swans fan.
There you go. Well, there might be one coming for them.
Yeah, I know there is.
No, it wasn't a crisis meeting at all. It's obviously been spoken about a fair bit, which is fair enough. It's the landscape we live in. But it's actually one of the best meetings I've had for years. So I've looked at it as a complete positive.
So senior players?
Yeah, senior player. Like, there's a big group of us.
Leadership group and extras?
Yeah. There's a big group of us. And
where'd you have it?
At the club.
Was there catering?
No.
Was there catering?
No, there wasn't. We didn't
Not
cater.
even some finger sandwiches.
We probably should have got the media in just so we can get some clarity on what. But no, it was literally. Obviously, we're in the position we're in.
Yes.
We haven't been playing too well. The club hasn't been going too well for the last few years. So we've had plenty of these meetings before. Yeah. But this one obviously got out there and has made a bigger deal of probably what it is. I think a little bit. But yeah, for me, it was robust. It was. Yeah, deep conversations of us trying to get better. And I mean us. It's not the players versus the club or the club versus... It was us as a team, as a whole club. So, we come out of it extremely positive. It was a great meeting and everyone aired out what they wanted to air out, needed to air out.
Yeah.
And it's just purely for us to get better. And I'm sure we'll have another one at some stage because we're just trying to get better and get back up that ladder as quick as we can as a club, not as a playing group, not as... Some of the stuff that's been reported. Yeah,
so it's not players v coach or any of that nonsense, is it?
No, definitely not. No, it was a conversation for us to get better as a whole. And since that, it was pre-Bombers. So since then, I think our performance on field's gotten better. A few things that we spoke about have definitely gotten better. So, and we're not perfect. We're still building. We still need to keep getting better individually as players. As a club, as a team, so for us it was more a positive thing than negative, I think, which is sort of the way it's sort of been spun.
Who blabbed to the media?
I just mentioned to you.
How'd they find out about it?
I don't know. They threw me in. Apparently, I called the meeting. Went in there with.
Have you accidentally added a journalist to the WhatsApp group? Is that what's happening?
I don't know about this WhatsApp
Signal,
group.
Everyone.
Yeah, I don't know what this WhatsApp group is, but I'm not in it.
I did mention to you off air. I've had a couple in my period of time, and what we did to turn things around, Charlie. I'm not sure if you do this in Better Homes and Gardens when things aren't going the way you want. You get everyone together. We had a bonfire. We went out to Rick Hart had a farm out in the sticks or whatever, and we had a bonfire, and things come out around the fire, and everyone's having a couple of tins. Did you think about that would be the
That
difference?
sounds a lot better, Shaun, to me. Yes, that sounds amazing to me. But obviously this day and age probably can't. Imagine if...
What's the next step? So,
you never know. Of course, we try and catch up, and it's not about drinking beers together all the time.
No.
But that definitely does help at some stages, but time and a place for it for sure for us. But, maybe the next one, Shawnee, I'll invite you along, mate.
Charlie, what happens when things aren't going the way they need to go?
Normally I pick up a chair and throw it through a window.
Sure. No, that sounds right.
Kick Adam, the builder, in the back, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Joanna Griggs gives everyone a nipple cripple and we move on.
Yeah. pretty much how it goes.
Go big game this week, obviously against Melbourne. I said that I expect you to perform well, and I don't think Melbourne are a really good team, although they beat my team. I don't think they're a really good team. I think that a Saturday night game that you've got a real good chance to take it to them. Clayton Oliver not playing, which is a big out for them. There's a good opportunity here.
Yeah, every week's an opportunity, Sean. But I think the last couple of weeks we've been building. We've been playing some better footy. As much as the actual result of how much we lost by last week, I thought the game was a little bit better than probably.
Yeah, you acquitted yourselves, especially in the second half, I thought.
Yeah. So we've slowly been building. We understand where we're at with it, but for us, we're going to do everything we can. But Melbourne are a top echelon side. When they play at their best, they're one of the better teams in the comp. So
I don't agree with that.
You don't?
Nah.
I reckon if they get going, they look pretty good. So
yeah, I know their forward line's pretty ordinary. I don't know.
Most teams do.
Yeah.
If teams are off a little bit,
no, I agree with that.
You know, like that's where we're going into the game expecting Melbourne at their best, which we have to. But yeah, there is an opportunity, and hopefully we can play our best footy and mainly keep taking steps forward to win it.
And we're going to change sports in a second because I wanted to ask you about NBA, and Charlie's a big NBA fan, which is great. But the last question is about Oscar Allen, and how have you been able to rally behind him? Yeah, from a personal point of view.
Yeah, he's had our support the whole time through everything that's been going on and everything else. So for us, or for me, I can't speak for all players, of course, but the boys have been right behind him the whole time. So,
but you know when someone's been kicked to the curb, it's difficult. So do you make any more effort to make sure, hey mate, just a reminder, we love you.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a few text messages hanging around, and
so did you say it's his 100th this weekend?
Yeah, 100th this weekend.
Oh, it's a big milestone, and also the other big milestone is that Aussie the Eagle flies for the 200th time.
200th.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Aussie and Aussie. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 100th this weekend, so we'll get around him big time, and we've been supporting him massively. Yeah. I think as a playing group, we fully understand what's going on, and for us right now, and I know Oscar is just purely focused on the club. And us trying to get better and win each week. So, he's got our full support.
Fantastic. Right, over the NBA now. And I couldn't believe it yesterday when the LA Lakers got booted out of the NBA Finals because I expected that they would bounce back even though they're 3-1 down. They're out. 4-1. They got beaten by the Timberwolves. No good there. Where are you on the NBA picture?
I'm nowhere. When I come through, it was Chicago Bulls, so I'm still stuck with the Bulls. Yeah. But
Josh Giddey had a good season.
Well, yes, he had a great season. So I'm watching bystander at the moment. My young fella likes Lakers, so we're both out now.
Charlie, who's your team?
Golden State Warriors. They're still in it. They lost yesterday to Houston Rockets.
Well, they got smoked early doors. They came back at one point, but they rested their starters at the end because they knew the game was done.
Yeah. I'm still hopeful. I mean, they're 3-2 now, so they'll be back in San Francisco, and I think
still
they'll
alive.
get up.
So that's Saturday morning, Charlie. So you'll be watching that?
When is it? 9 a.m. here?
Oh, yes.
I'll be at the Garden Show, I'm afraid.
I'll have to text you the update.
I might have KO on my phone whilst I'm there doing the talk and watching at the same time.
Who's your team, Shawnee?
I'd like to see LeBron win another championship because I just think
he doesn't have enough.
Well, no, he doesn't, and he's amazing. Like
he's doing it tough.
When you think about it, the guy's 40.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable the way he plays.
Still pretty good. Yeah,
and he stands for a lot of different things. People want to chip him all the time, but the fact that he's got his own school and the money he puts in, he really stands up for black lives and politically. Not many sports people put themselves out there because you get your head knocked off, and he does that as well. So I'm a fan. But the Golden State Warriors, they will win, Charlie. They will win Saturday morning. I saw Steph Curry on the bench yesterday in the last 5 minutes. He's just laughing.
Yeah.
And they've got the main man who loves to play in finals, of course.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, big buckets.
Jimmy Buckets, mate.
Yep.
He'll come to play.
I think I'd marry him if he asked me. I love Jimmy Butler.
It's your wife, isn't it?
It is news. But I loved him when he played for Miami, and now he plays for the Golden State Warriors. I'm so happy.
Yeah, he was at Bulls for a little bit there.
Yeah, right.
I tuned in heavily when Jimmy Buckets was there, but Giddy now.
Yeah, we're all on the
fingers crossed. But Timberwolves,
they can't go all the way. Anthony Edwards was bloody brilliant in the thing, matching up on LeBron a few times.
Yeah,
they've got the size, but it's going to be the Celtics.
OKC.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Shay.
Yeah, they're the best team this season. I think they'll win it.
Better than the Cavs.
Yep.
Better than the Celtics.
Sean, we have to wrap it up, mate. We can't just have you listing every NBA team and saying, asking you if they're better than that. Good luck tomorrow.
Good luck, guys.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.